Today I'm going to show you how to withdraw the javelin in 3 different ways. Alright, let's get started. So first method of withdrawing the javelin is probably easiest. It's just a straight back withdrawal. And the second one is going to be sort of a hop withdrawal. And then the third is my favorite, which is the wind-up withdrawal. All right, so a couple of things to note here. When you're withdrawing the javelin, it's not actually a withdrawal. We're not actually drawing the javelin back. What we're doing is we're actually running in front of the javelin as you move through your approach. The idea is if you just kind of throw the javelin back, you're kind of moving things in the opposite direction of the throwing direction. We're trying to move towards the end of the runway, and so by doing so, we can further accelerate in this direction. If all you're doing is throwing the javelin back, you're not really working on the acceleration part. All right, let's talk about the 3 different methods of withdrawing the javelin. These are just 3 that I'm referencing. There's a bunch of different ways that you can withdraw the javelin, a lot of different techniques, but the 3 different that I'm talking about today, first one is probably the most simple one, which is just level out the javelin and draw it straight back as you move through. That's the first one. The second one is sort of a hop step. Same idea though, try and keep that javelin somewhat level. And then as you're moving through, we're gonna hop up and then start withdrawing the javelin as you move through those steps. The third one is wind up. The wind up is much more complicated. And this one goes, again, level javelin. As we're moving, we're going to go out here and up. The idea between the 3 is trying to figure out a way that you can further accelerate down the runway. The straight back javelin is typically the easiest of the 3 to do. It's the easiest to control. It's probably the easiest to learn. It's a little bit hard, in my opinion, because I'm not a great runner, to run quickly as you're withdrawing that javelin. So that's mainly because your arms are normally down here as you're running. So to have it up above the shoulder is a little bit more awkward, but it's more simple. You don't have to change your grip. It's probably the most easiest way. All right, second way is that hop step. The hop step is a little bit more complicated, but the idea is the hop step gives you a separation in rhythm from your approach. So the carrying phase through that hop step separated from that bounding and then the delivery phase. So the idea is we're separating the 2, trying to get rhythm generated and separate between the start and the finish. So from here, we go up and through, and then the wind up again. This one's more complicated, but the idea is when we draw that javelin, we go down and back. By drawing it down first, now we're in a running position where our hands are below our shoulders, and we're naturally moving like, a regular run. The problem is that you've got to release the javelin out of the fingertips, right? So it comes off the palm of the hand down to the fingertips, and then we bring it back up. It's definitely the most complicated version. But same idea, we're going to run away from our hand. And move through our approach. Okay, so here we go. This is the sort of the walking version. So if you want to learn how to do this stuff, you're going to have to kind of slow things down and then gradually increase your speed. So the walking version of a flat withdrawal is I'm just going to try and keep, again, the javelin needs to be somewhat level. It can't be extreme here or here. It's got to be somewhat level. And the idea is we're just going to start walking, kind of feel the rhythm of that approach. As we start reaching out with that left foot, we're going to start going past it. And then again, farther, and then farther and farther. And so each step begins to increase the distance that you are moving away from your hand. For me, I kind of anticipate that movement with my right foot. So as I move through, walking, I'm kind of anticipating it here, and then I'm starting to walk past it here, and then here and here, and so on down the runway. So there's a little sense of anticipation that I have as I go through this process. As you kind of start practicing, you'll kind of start to feel what trigger is important for you in order to start that process. But I always start off just with a walking version, and then I increase the complexity of it with some speed. All right, here is the flat withdrawal. Straight back. All right, so the hopping version, the hop step, or the hop version of this withdrawal, I'm going to be jumping off my left foot. So I'm going to kind of walk through. I'm anticipating it on this step. I'm going to jump up. I'm lifting the javelin here. As I come down, I run away from the landing. So as I kind of drop that javelin back down into position, I'm moving away from it as it gets lower. All right, here is the hop withdrawal. The wind-up withdrawal is a lot more complicated. This one requires you to release the javelin from the palm of your hand in order to get the wind. The wind-up withdrawal is a lot more complicated. This one requires you to release the javelin from the palm of your hand in order to get the wind-up motion. So you have to go from a regular grip, bring it in front of you, down to the fingertips, and then you start running past it. And this one does take practice. What helped me was keeping the javelin level. If you kind of move into this with the nose down, and then you try and do this, the javelin starts to turn in this weird angle. And then as you bring it back, you're even farther out of angle, and then you have to bring it up, which is too many complicated movements to do when you're trying to accelerate through your approach. So try and keep the javelin level, avoid extremes being high and extremes being low. Keep it as level as you can. And then as you start moving down the runway through this little walking motion, you're going to walk and you're going to anticipate with that right foot, and you're going to start pushing it out as you run by the javelin. Okay, so it is a little bit more complicated. It takes more practice, but I like to do this because I'm not a great runner, as you probably can tell already in the videos that you're watching. I'm okay for my age, but not great, and I struggle with accelerating when I withdraw the javelin. The only way that I've been able to accelerate without an excessive amount of practice to get better is by doing this withdrawal underneath the wind up. So as I start moving, again, anticipating with my right foot, and then I start moving down and pass it up, and now I'm into my crossover and into the throw. All right, here is the wind up withdrawal. All right, I'll leave it at that. If you have questions, comments, you can put them in the comment section below. If you appreciate videos like this, then please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell notifications. And until I see you next time, have fun and throw far.